Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. We are picking up from where we left off yesterday with the cross-examination of Sergeant Mohane by defense for accused number 1 and 2. But before we get into that, guys, can we talk about how late these people always are? The case is supposed to start at 10 on a daily basis, but it never does. Today, bego worse because it started at 11:40. Like, what is this? Let's get into the disclaimers. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a legal advisor. I am a layman, and everything that I will be speaking about will be based on the proceedings of the day, and I might throw in my opinions here and there. So today, the 16th of November 2023, when we started, Baloyi basically said that he's handing up the logbook, which will be exhibit MM3, and it has information with regards to the 1st of June to the 19th of June 2020, as well as the 29th of May to the 31st of May 2020. Once that was handed up, Ngomezulu then stands and just says everything was handed in by agreement and they have nothing to dispute with regards to these logbooks. The judge then says, is this agreement in accordance to section 220? And they then read the section, and it is then said that, this is an agreement between all the parties, so it is admissible. Then Advocate Mgomezulu goes on to tell us with regards to AVLs for the 22nd and the 24th, where Baloyi, the prosecutor for the state, is saying that the vehicle was not used. However, there is nothing furnished to the defense to support these claims by Baloyi. And they're saying that this evidence will be canvassed through Brigadier Keninda when he comes to testify, because he will be testifying, I think, as the next witness or the one after the one that's going to come. So once those formalities were out the way, Advocate Mgomezulu proceeded with his cross-examination, and he refers to the witness to the 19th of June at 1833, which is on page 31 on the exhibit that was in front of the witness, and it states that the vehicle was at Lamini, Soweto, with excess idling, and the witness agrees to this. Then he reads out the next few entries, which are at 1834, another excess idling, 1842, driving near Goma Street, and the witness agrees with this. And then he then reads 1911, which reflects an incident, and he asks the witness, was this still in Soweto? And the witness agrees. And then he then asks the witness that when you left Phosphorus, you were in a hurry to get USB and keys which belong to Sergeant Mabena, and he agrees to this as well. And he then asks, what was stopping you from using the freeway on this day to get to Moroka back from Phosphorus? And he says nothing was stopping them. However, they use their own discretion when traveling, and also for their safety, they tend to use different routes every time they travel. Advocate Mgomezulu then just puts it out there that he has a worry with regards to the fact that they used another route, because the freeway would have been quicker, considering that the route that they did take on this day, they had to stop more than 3 times. And the witness then says he doesn't recall them stopping more than 3 times. Then Mgomezulu went on to remind him the 3 occasions that they stopped, being at Ring Road, being at Chris Honey Road, and also being at the police station at 1828. So he's then reminded, and then he does agree with Mgomezulu to this fact. Now, he then refers the witness to the incident of fetching the keys, and he says that his partner went into the police station and was told that the people had already left because it was after hours. However, they have called them and they just need to wait. So Mgomezulu's argument in this bit of information is that no one can come and prove what this witness is saying, because Sergeant Mabena has since passed away, and also he's not mentioning the name of the lady that had told Mabena to wait in the car. And the witness then says, if I knew the name, I would tell, but I was waiting in the car with the accused, so I don't have those details. Mngomezulu then says he'll ask the court to reject that evidence because no one can come and back it up, basically. There won't be any corroboration of this evidence. They then ask the witness about transporting accused number 2 on the 13th of July, and the witness says no, he does not recall transporting the accused, and the defense attorney then puts it to the witness that accused number 2's version is that was the first time he appeared in court in Tlhabani. The state then objects, saying that information is not correct, and Ngomezulu then says, no, this is the version of the accused, that according to him, he was not taken to court until the 13th of July, since his arrest on the 16th of June. The witness then says he's in possession of the charge sheet, and the charge sheet says that he did go to court on the 22nd. However, there is no record of the vehicle that was used on this date, so therefore there is no proof to prove that this person actually was transported to the court on the said date. Ngomezulu then puts the accused's version on record to say that he had not changed his clothes since his arrest on the 16th. He had not been given a phone call as well, and this time when he was meant to go to court on the 13th of July was the first time that his girlfriend was phone called for her to bring clothes for him to change so that he could appear in court. The witness then says he cannot dispute anything with regards to the changing of clothes, as he wasn't involved in the arrangements for the accused number 2 to get clothes. However, Mabena, who has passed away, mind you, is the person who was responsible for getting all those details and clothes for the accused. There was a bit of a confusion in court when Mngomezulu said that Buthelezi is the one that got accused number 2's clothing, and the witness then says no, Buthelezi was an EMPD officer who was responsible for the escort of the accused and the sergeant. However, the Buthelezi that Mngomezulu was referring to was accused number 2's friend, who then did come through and bring those clothing items for him. Ngomezulu then just went on to the last question, which was with regards to the traveling from Pretoria North to Carltonville and to Phokeng. And he was just questioning whether there were any toll gates on the way there. And the witness then confirms that on the way to Phokeng, there were toll gates. We then went on to the defense for accused number 3, who was about to start his cross-examination when he was disturbed by the state prosecutor, Baloy, who says there's a witness that's available today, and that witness is unavailable for tomorrow. So he was requesting that this witness be put on the stand now, and that Mohane stand down until they're done with the said witness. There was no objection from the rest of the defense, and the judge then just asked Mohane to wait until 3. Now, the funny thing about the judge's remarks is that the judge says Mohane should wait until 3:30. However, he does not have money to buy him lunch. And the interpreter then interprets this as water and chips. And if you know from the previous days in court, the sergeant had said that they had bought chips and water for the accused while transporting him. So there was a bit of a pun there. A new witness was then introduced by the name of Michael Dupree, who is an expert from the tracking company that the SAPS uses for their vehicles. Mr. Dupree was here to testify on Exhibit MM2, which was before the court. However, he did prepare or print his own copy from his workplace, and that was submitted today, and it was submitted as Exhibit MM2 in brackets A. So when he started with his evidence. He just basically gave us a background as to what company he works for, his position, and all of that, and I will get into those details shortly. So basically, Mr. Dupree is a Chief Operations Officer at Sea-Track Fleet Management, and his duties are based on the operation and training at his workplace. And the company basically deals with both private and public sector, installing hardware into vehicles and assets to allow for tracking. He's been with this company for 22 years, and he basically has enough training and experience in the job, and he has testified in courts before, and he has experience testifying with regards to the features of the said hardware, and also he's testified in criminal and civil cases and the CCMA. He then just explains how this whole device works and what they do as a company, and tells us that there is a tender for their company for the SAPS vehicles, and they just install this AVL, and he tells us how it works. I'm not going to get into the details as to how this whole system works. However, all the information is collected and then stored, and if need be, then the information is supplied. The most important thing that we really needed from this witness is for him to explain certain terms with regards to the AVL records that were read by Mogane, and he did basically get into one of the points, which was with regards to GPS unlocked. He did explained that this means that data is received from different satellites, and it uses about 4 satellites, and it will give you the accurate location. However, at certain points, if the satellites are not working or if it's not receiving data from all satellites, then it will only pick up the location from the most recent spot where the vehicle was parked. So basically, this GPS unlock will give you the accurate altitude, longitude, and latitude for you to be able to determine the location of the vehicle. He was then asked whether this can be tampered with, and he basically tells the court that it's not impossible. So it is something that is possible to tamper with. And he says anyone that could tamper with this information would have to have an in-depth knowledge, as it's not so easy to tamper with it. So we then went on a lunch break, and after the lunch break, this is what took place. The state was just leading the witness and asking questions such as, if the vehicle is stationary or moving, does it impact the receiver? And he says, no, it does not. They then referred him to Exhibit MM2A, on the 19th of June, where there is an entry at 502, and it says near Balfour Street in Pretoria North. And he says that based on the coordinates given here, he can confirm that this location was at the Pretoria police station, outside the police station. The second location that he was asked to confirm was on the 18th, which is on page 13 to 18 of his new exhibit, where he was asked to confirm the location that was given there, and he says it's at Engine Garage or near the Engine Garage. He then also gave us information today that this vehicle was stationary until 27 minutes past 11 at night. So basically, it had been off since 1853 up until 23 minutes past 7, which is about 5 hours and a couple of minutes. He was then asked to confirm the location of the vehicle from the 23rd to the 25th of June, and he says the vehicle was stationary the whole day, and according to the coordinates, it was at the garage, which is where they store SAPS vehicles or they repair SAPS vehicles. Another location he was asked to just confirm was on page 44 of Exhibit MM2 on the 20th of June 2020 at 0002. He does confirm that the coordinates are for Phokeng SAPS. Once that information was finalized, we then had cross-examination by Mngomezulu, advocate for accused number 1 and 2, or defense for accused number 1 and 2, excuse me. He then asked the witness if he does installations of these hardwares, and he says no, he doesn't do installations, he just oversees. And then after fitting, is there a certificate that is provided? He confirms that there is a certificate. However, he does not have it in his possession. He does also just let the court know that some movements are not recorded as and when they happen because there's too much data to be processed. So sometimes it is every 5 minutes or every change in direction that the system does record. Mngomezulu then takes him to the 18th of June at 8:24, where the reading was saying that the odometer is saying 0, and he just asked him to explain what that means, and he says this means that the car is stationary. As long as it says 0, the car is stationary. And at 8:34 he asks if this is the same, and he says yes, it's the same story, the vehicle is stationary. Mngomezulu then asks him about mapping, and the witness does not understand the question, so Mngomezulu withdraws the question. We then move on to defense for accused number 3, Mnisi. And Mnisi just wanted the witness to clarify the confusion with regards to near a certain location and at a certain location. So basically, all entries in this AVL would say near this street or near this road. And the witness just says, for the purpose of like court appearances and all that, we have taken it upon ourselves to use the word near as opposed to the actual location, because at times you could say a person is on that street, a certain street, let's say Madiba Street, for example, yet the person is on the pavement. So they were just avoiding that. So they just usually say near the certain spot. However, coordinates are able to give you the exact location. And whilst we're at that, the judge then butts in. He does have a tendency of butting in and putting in his 2 cents every now and then. But he just says to the witness, no, you know what, please explain the coordinates and the definition of coordinates, basically. And then the witness does do so. And once all of this is done, they decide that they are going to take a bit of an adjournment so that they can consult with regards to the information that this witness needs to provide. Because basically right now, the AVL reports just give coordinates and the witness is unable to give exact location for every single movement. So they requested that the witness stand down so that he's able to provide such information as coordinates and the mapping, basically as to where this car went on these days that the sergeant was with the accused. So due to the fact that the witness is unavailable tomorrow, they decided that they're going to sit with the witness now and give him a briefing as to what information they need for what dates, so that he's able to provide. But obviously the state says this does take time, so it won't be something that can be brought before court tomorrow or on Monday, because the witness is not available on Monday either. However, they will give him a briefing and he will be able to come to court and give us the directions and the exact locations as to where this vehicle went on the requested days. So that was it from court today, and I will see you guys tomorrow.